Hello, you guys. Welcome to the remastered Lilith Masterclass. I am super excited to talk about Lilith today. It's our last goddess workshop. Oh my goodness. We're talking about the first woman on our last goddess workshop. Okay, it's a really deep meaning, honestly. So yeah, you guys, let's get started. This is Lilith. This is the rebel archetype. And let's get into it. She also, and honestly, I honestly think I was going to talk about this later, but I feel like she encompasses a lot of different archetypes. The seductress archetype, the witch archetype, so many different ones. The destroyer archetype, like honestly, she's a lot of different things. Okay, so let's go over today's agenda. We're going to talk about, again, Lilith and how she was the first woman going into the Garden of Eden decode. And then just more about the archetype of her. Okay, rebellion against patriarchal standards, demonization of dark feminine energy, and then decentering men in our lives. Beautiful. Okay, so as you guys already know, oh my god, don't know, like it's Kalima and Lilith. There's just something about them that they're like, when they're here, they're here. And yeah, that's the same thing with Lilith. I was like, okay, I was just preparing. I know I was gonna channel her, and she's like, I'm here. There's a sass to it. There's just like this energy and presence to her that I really feel out of like all of the dark feminine. She is just like really, really bold about it. So at least I know she's here. She's just coming in strong. And it's just like such a sexy, seductive, powerful archetype of like an empowered woman. It is the best feeling. Okay. So we are going to, again, receive her channelings, receive her energetic downloads. So I want us to sit up tall, like sit up straight. That's what she's saying, sit up straight. She wants us to plant our feet firmly to the ground, really connecting with Mother Earth right now. You can wiggle your toes and fingers. You can imagine a grounding cord coming up from the earth. Okay. And then opening ourselves up to the Akashic Records, opening ourselves up to the cosmic energy in our crown chakra, letting that come in, flow in. Welcome, goddesses. We are at our last day, last session, last workshop. It's been a long journey, and I'm honored to end this journey with you guys. I'm very specific about my story. I'm really honored to share my truth, knowing that it empowers you all to step into your own divine sovereignty. Within all divine feminines, within all women is my story, is my archetype, is my myth. I started it all, and we end it all here. As this comes to a close, as we prepare to go deeper into the fall, into the darkness. We step into a new era with fresh eyes, with fresh understanding, with more empowerment. And this is what I felt when I left Eden. And this is the archetypal story that you are going through as you leave your own Eden, as you leave your own comfort zone to step in a new world, which you can create, which you can manifest, knowing all the secrets that you know now, taking the bite, the tree of self-knowledge, of the Akasha, of the feminine secrets. Feel pride in yourself, feel joy in yourself as you step forward, knowing that you are creating something original, unique, and authentic to you. It's time to take back your authority, to take back your voice, and to listen to yourself first. These are the mysteries. These are the seeds that have been planted from the original woman in your DNA, in your ancestral line, so that you may bear the fruit and share the fruit. With this wisdom, you are an infinite creator who knows how to sow seeds and reap the fruit every single time. These are the stories and the secrets of manifestation, of creation. It was given to a woman first. We are the holy reflection of creation, of birth and transformation. And do not put yourself aside, putting a man in the center when it is you that has birthed everything, that has created all. It starts from us as divine feminine beings. We were the ones that touched God first. We were the ones that came from God first. As we peel back the layers behind religious programming, and we fully embody this story, we come back to our center, into our power, into our dark feminine energy. You do not need to be afraid of your own voice and power anymore, for you are sovereign. You are magic. You are alchemy. Forgive yourself in the ways that you have shamed and forgotten this truth, that you have opened your eyes, saw yourself naked, and chose to cover yourself up. You can forgive yourself for all of the ways that you tried to fit in a box, You can forgive yourself. It's about coming back into awareness, coming back into love, coming back into your divine feminine energy. Okay, so just coming back into the room that we once came from. Wiggling your toes and fingers. Slowly opening your eyes. Okay, you guys, that was so beautiful. I love Lilith. I think it is really profound to have her at the last, as the last goddess workshop. And I can't wait to share more about her. So let's get into her side of the story and really deprogram ourselves from what Christianity or the patriarchy has taught us. Okay. All right, you guys. So this is a channeling from Lilith. And you can interpret this in many different ways. And I think that is the point, right? So it's mostly of like, I'll talk about all the different ways you can interpret it as, or you can interpret it as like your own completely separate way. Because it is about taking your own truth, right? This is really about, yes, I am my own channel and I have my connection to truth and my connection to source, but you do too. And it doesn't always have to resonate with mine. And it can resonate with mine, and you can take it and have that within your own belief system, but ultimately it's up to you to decide what is true in your universe, in your reality. Okay, and that's what's beautiful, and how we can have different truths existing in different realities, and all of it is valid. Okay, and it's how we see the world that we live in today, and we just see how people are just in completely separate realities. It's almost a sense of like people have different For You pages and different social medias, right? They just see a completely different side of the world that is uniquely theirs. Okay. All right, let's get into it. I'm just going to read you guys what she has channeled through me. So I was a creation. I woke up one day and I was a fully grown woman. Adam was supposed to be my counterpart. The partnership was forced and I reclaimed sovereignty over my body. I refused to be told what to do, especially with the act of sex. My creators are not who you think. Many will find that this is the true God, but that is not true. They had other intentions for humanity. I was forced out of the Garden of Eden into my own barren paradise. Here I was free. Right? So you can interpret that as like just like a creation myth in terms of like Adam and Eve, kind of just like an archetypal myth of like where we came from. You can think of it as the actual origins of humanity, and almost the sense of what I'm picking up on, and this is not the sense that I completely believe this should be true either, but it could be like my creators are not who you think. It's the sense of like maybe they're like extra dimensional beings, alien beings that created humanity. You guys can maybe say Anunnaki, things like that. And they were basically bred, and Lilith was like, I do not want to be bred anymore, things like that. Again, it could just be an archetypal story. You can actually think of it as like the history of what actually happened. You can have your own completely different interpretation of this. Okay. So yeah, that is Lilith's origin stories. Again, take what you will from what she is saying, but we're gonna go deeper into all of this. Okay, guys, let's keep going. All right, so the Garden of Eden. Let's decode this. So God created man from clay from his image. God created the Garden of Eden for man to live. There was a tree of life, and then there was the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Man was told not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. God created a man out of clay. The man was named Adam, and God did not want him to be lonely anymore. So when he was asleep, God made Eve from his rib. Okay, you guys, let's go deeper into that. So that's basically a summary of what is in the Bible. So I am going to offer a completely different perspective right now. I think that before Adam, there was Lilith. Before Eve, before Adam, there was Lilith. And I think she was the first creation, as she said in the channeling. Okay, so let's talk about the clay woman and how I see this myth play out in different cultures. So this is the Maori myth / the Yawanawa myth. I went to the Amazon rainforest and we had storytelling around the sacred tree, and the chief of the village talked about a clay woman. Okay, so this is me in the Amazon rainforest around the sacred tree. Okay, we're gonna go deeper into like how that's really deep, but anyways, so man wanted to love somebody so much that he created a woman out of clay. He molded her from clay of the earth and breathed life into her. So obviously there's a whole nother story, but that is just a basic summary. Okay. And again, when I think of this myth, how I'm decoding it, or when I was hearing this story in the rainforest, I was like, okay, this man is not really man. This man is God. This man is creator. And he wanted to love something. So he created humans, basically a human woman, right? So if you were a masculine God creator, you wouldn't make a man, you would make a woman, and you would fall in love with that woman, right? Let's talk about the Greek myth. Pygmalion was a famous sculptor. He made the perfect woman out of marble and prayed to Aphrodite to make her real. Right, so this is the myth of Pygmalion, and it actually happened. She did become real. I know it's made out of marble, but it's a very similar essence, like we came out of the earth. Okay, so we are earth beings. We are literally made out of the earth. We have magnesium and iron and all of the stuff that earth has. We are earth beings, right? We're not air beings or water beings. We are physical earth beings. Okay, so that is literally what we're made out of. Another Greek myth, Pandora. So Pandora, who opened Pandora's box, molded for clay by Hephaestus, unleashed all the evils upon the world. Okay, so there's kind of this similarity with even Eve and Lilith, right? Oh, she ate the apple and now they left the Garden of Eden, and humans can't live with spirit anymore, right? If you guys, we're gonna talk deeper about the Barbie movie, all that stuff, okay? So yeah, this is again my personal interpretation. There's a lot of myths that talk about making humans out of clay and breathing life into them. It wasn't always just women. There was also men too. But again, personally, what I believe that we came and we were all sourced from a woman. Like it was the woman that came first, not Adam. Okay. So really, again, questioning what we were taught, questioning the patriarchy, questioning our religion. Okay. Right. So the tree of life and the Kabbalah. So let's talk about it. So God made Eve from the rib of Adam. Okay, so this is the tree of life, which comes from Jewish mysticism. Okay, so this is called the Kabbalah, and this is basically they call it the tree of life too, right? So this is how ether comes down and is made into matter, right? So it is like basically this lightning bolt and how it has to descend these different dimensions and spherots, basically spheres, to come from ether all the way down and condenses and condenses and condenses into actual physical matter. Okay, so that is the tree of life. Again, it is a spiritual ladder to the heavens, a map of the dimensions too. So you can even see this as, again, a map of the dimensions. So we have 11 here. Okay, and then we can even see how there's another secret one up here, making 12. Okay. So the God made Eve from the rib of Adam. So the rib to me is either teeth. Yeah, I feel like it's Tiferet. And it was created from Tiferet, right? So you could put the tree of life on top of your body, and this is also how energy moves and condenses into us. How high vibrational energy needs to come down and integrate into our body deeper and deeper and deeper, and then we're actually able to manifest something. Okay, so this is the tree of life, and our kundalini is also the snake that helps us rise into the heavens, rise into the ethers. Okay, so this is the tree of life, you guys. It goes really, really deep. We're gonna go deeper into all of it later. Okay, so the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So again, this is in Hebrew, right? And the knowledge of the tree of life has two pillars, right? It has the pillar of severity and then the pillar of mercy. Right, and then we have the pillar of balance. Okay, and then they also have the different, what is it called? Like English, right? So Kether is crown, and then it goes to wisdom, then it goes to Chakmat wisdom, Bina understanding, right? Then it can go to mercy, Chesed, and then Gibura, severity, goes down into Tiferet, victory, Netzach, and then goes to splendor, and then goes to kingdom. Okay, and then there's Doth here as well. Oh, and then Yesod. Okay. Again, looking back at how it travels through. This is basically how it travels through. Kind of looks like a lightning bolt, and they're even showing me like the God and Adam and that like little spark. You know how like you touch somebody and there's like a little electricity spark? It's that. It's like God touching man. Okay. Imbuing them with a certain power or a certain creative power. All right. All right. So the tree of knowledge of good and evil is actually the tree of life, but it is missing the middle pillar. Right. So without the middle pillar, without the balance, right? You have wisdom, you have understanding, you have severity, you have mercy, you have splendor and victory. All of these are dual energies, dualistic polarity energies. Okay, to eat from the knowledge of good and evil is to choose to live in a dense polarity, in a dense duality world that we live in, which is Earth, right? We do have polarity here, we do have duality here, we have masculine, feminine, we have birth and death, right? We have young and old, we have things that taste good, things that taste disgusting. Right? So that's what I think the tree of knowledge of good and evil is. And when Eve ate that, again, she left the Garden of Eden and she had to come down into this physical reality. All right, let's keep going, you guys. So the tree of life, it gets deeper. It gets really, really deep. Okay. So the tree of life, you can also, or the different spheroids also have different planetary, oh my God. They also have different planetary correspondence. Okay, so at the top, the crown is Neptune, Uranus is wisdom, Saturn is understanding, right? And so on and so forth, right? The missing one is Pluto, right? So if we think about ascending our consciousness, there's different pathways that we need to go to eventually reach Neptune. Okay, this is Pisces, while this is, again, Earth. All right, so let's talk about the High Priestess card. The High Priestess card is the tree of life. Okay, to be a high priestess is to embody the wisdom and the understanding of the tree of life and having all of these pathways open to you. Okay, so in the High Priestess card, there is the column of Boaz, which is the severity column, which is this column. And then they also have the column of Jachin, the column of mercy, okay? And if you look deeper into the High Priestess card, she has these pomegranates that, again, make the shape, the Dath, Mars, Jupiter. I don't even say Mars, Jupiter, but I don't have the actual, I don't know the Hebrew terms word for word. Sorry, you guys. And yeah, if you guys can see how that is also hidden within the High Priestess card. Okay, what is at the bottom of her foot is the Moon card. Here is the Moon. Okay, so again, she embodies the High Priestess. Okay, another thing that I want to talk about, let's use this is a lot better, is that, again, the tree of life is on our body. As I said before, if we are the High Priestess or we are an initiated High Priestess, we have that integrated in our energetic body system. And what it means to activate it and to have this beautiful lightning bolt, right? We see this lightning bolt here, is to ascend our Kundalini energy. Okay, so here we see the snake and the tree. Where else do we see the snake and the tree? We see it in the Genesis myth. Eve goes up to the tree of knowledge of good and evil. There's a snake going up the tree, being like, hey, eat the fruit. Eat the fruit. Right? These are all the different fruits. The spheroids are all the different fruits. And it gives us knowledge in terms of how to tune into spirit, how to be a creator. Okay. All right. So there's a lot of deep correspondence and pathways within the tree of life. So each pathway can also be represented by a tarot card. We have the veil of Nephthys here. We have the veil of Isis here, right? All of these things have such a deep meaning that I'm still personally uncoding, right? I'm still personally decoding. And you could look at this and how there's all these different pathways, and how the fool's journey is also very much within the tree of life and the evolution of what a soul needs to learn to ascend, right? So from the Fool to the World card. Okay. So yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going, you guys. Okay, the tree of life. All right, so this is pretty cool. This is from my travels, you guys. So again, we talked about the High Priestess card being the embodiment of the tree of life, being the embodiment of knowledge, right? She has so much knowledge. She is the mysteries of life. That's why she has this scroll. And the scroll is also the Torah. Again, there's another Jewish correlation, the Kabbalah, the Torah. There's all these like little hints, if you guys know how to see through the veil. So I was in Marbella, Spain, and I'm in this like beautiful church, and I'm looking at these Mary statues, and look at what she's stepping on. What do you guys notice? She's stepping on a moon. What else do we notice? She has a blue cloak. She has a crown. She has the two pillars. Okay. This is the tree of life. Mary was an initiate. She was a high priestess, as we said before, in the Mary Magdalene mysteries. Okay. They needed to be initiated into their womb. And what was that initiation? Again, the Kundalini energy. Okay. They knew how to use that Kundalini energy. And they used sex to activate it. Okay. And this is why it's so important that sex helped us with our spiritual evolution. Okay. This is why they demonize our sexuality. It's because it actually helps us get closer to God. Like literally, this is how we climb the tree of life. Okay. All right. So this is the Basilica of Mary Magdalene and Saint Maximim la Saint Baume. And look, this is Mary Magdalene stepping on a moon. And then what else do we notice? We notice these angels. Let's look at it again, you guys. Right. Actually, maybe that's not the best photo. Right. You can see these different pathways that they're making with the arms. Okay. Okay, do you guys see that? She is the tree of life. So, right, like, are you following what's going on? Okay. Right. So I'm traveling, and I'm in my Akashic Records, and I just see the freaking tree of life everywhere. I'm like, wow, okay. Seriously, this is literally something that they know in the church. This is something that the painters know. This is something that is hidden from us unless you know the mysteries, unless you understand. And how you understand and pierce the veil is through the Akashic Records. Okay, this is what opens our third eye, and this is what helps us unveil the mysteries. Okay, this is why they're wearing a veil. It means that they have knowledge. Okay, and they're protecting that knowledge. It has to be veiled to certain people. Other people, they can look at this and they just see Mary Magdalene. When I see it, veil is off. Oh my goodness, it's the fucking High Priestess card right in front of me. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Okay, the Garden of Eden. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, she shall be called woman. Her name was Eve. Okay, so this is another summary of the Bible, the book of Genesis. Eve walks by the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The serpent told her that she will not die if she eats from the tree. Her eyes will be open and she will understand the difference between good and evil. So that is what the snake told her. She's not going to die. God said you're going to die, but you're not actually going to die. Right? And what does that mean to me? To me, that's like, no, our soul doesn't die. If you go to earth, like your soul's not going to die, but you are going to finally understand, again, the difference between good and evil. These mysteries that you've been ignorant of in the Garden of Eden. Okay. And that was such an irresistible, like, it's like she wanted to know the mystery. She wanted to know the secrets. Okay. There's a deep curiosity inside of us. Okay. And it's tempting. There is a tempting energy when it comes to sacred secrets. Okay. She tasted the forbidden fruit and then she shared it with Adam. They opened their eyes, they became aware that they were naked, and then they covered their bodies. Okay. They heard God and they hid. They were ashamed of their nakedness and wrongdoing. Adam blamed Eve, and Eve blamed the serpent. Okay, so again, it was just Adam and Eve. They were naked. I feel like they could see the whole time, but it was really about opening their third eye, right? And then to me, covering their bodies was both basically like, I don't know, in the sense of like they have their senses, like they're actually physical now. Like, you know, I don't know why I'm like getting this image, but like the sense of, I don't know if this actually happened in the Barbie. I don't think this happened in the Barbie movie, but the sense of like going into a different dimension and like ending up there naked and oh my goodness, I'm naked, like I'm cold. Okay. So yeah, they had a physical body that they could feel uncomfortability with. Okay. So God cursed the serpent. So serpents used to have like 4 arms and stuff like that, and it would force the serpent to crawl. So I think that's actually really, really interesting. Okay. Force the serpent to crawl, meaning that it's not as easy to awaken your Kundalini energy. The serpent will always bite the heels of Eve's descendants. Okay, so this is the curse of Eve. And what I think that means, right? So women, divine feminines, we're always going to have that temptation. We're always going to be drawn to the spiritual. We're always going to want to activate our Kundalini energy and tap into magic and all that stuff. It will always bite the heels of Eve's descendants. It's inevitable, our spiritual awakening. Okay, so that's what I'm interpreting that as, and that's what I'm decoding it as. So, going more into the Garden of Eden decode, God said to women that birth of her children, or her child, will be painful, and she will serve her husband who rules her. So this is like the patriarchy, basically. And then also, again, the curse of childbirth, how creation is inherently painful. God said to man that he must be punished because he allowed Eve to disobey him. Okay, so now it's almost the sense of like creating this false structure of women serving men and men having to discipline and make the feminine listen to them. Adam was cursed to suffer and work hard in order to feed himself. So now we don't just live in this abundant like forest or this abundant garden where we can just pick off fruit from the trees and all that stuff. Like it's not just going to be as readily available. We actually have to plant the seeds, plow it, wait for it to come, and it's like literally hard work to farm instead of just being like in a paradise, right? There's a lot of deep interpretations with that too, in terms of, now we have to plant the seeds and plow it, and I feel like that's also manifesting. Like we have to wait. There's some work that we got to do. There's some effort that you gotta put some effort to reap the benefits. Okay. They were expelled from paradise, forced to cultivate the land instead of eating from the plentiful fruit. This is the story of the origin of sin. Okay. All right, you guys. So again, what I'm interpreting this as being expelled from paradise, this is kind of like a higher dimensional plane in which that they had to come down into physical reality where things are slower, there is polarity, there is hard work that needs to be done, and things aren't readily available. Creation is painful a little bit. There's some sort of sacrifice, right? So this is like the world that we live in and like why we're here. Okay. All right, let's keep going. All right, so this is really interesting. I hope you guys have all seen the Barbie movie. If you haven't, I hope I don't spoil anything, but it is a retelling of the Lilith myth and what Lilith was doing when she left the Garden of Eden. Okay, so we know what happened with Adam and Eve, but we don't know what really happened with Lilith. Okay, so the Barbie movie is the story of the original woman, aka the first woman, right? So in the Barbie movie, Barbie is stereotypical Barbie. This is where all the Barbies come from. Dr. Barbie and Vampire Barbie and all these different Barbies came from blonde, blue-eyed, stereotypical Barbie, okay? Again, that is the first woman. That is the first Barbie, okay? And then within the Barbie movie, she's like questioning death. What happens if we die? Right? Every day is perfect. And she's like, what if it wasn't like this? What if, again, this is going into the duality, into the polarity. What if things weren't perfect? What if things didn't happen the way I planned it? She starts falling off instead of floating down. Her feet becomes flat, right? And again, it's really leaving this false utopia, dreamland, Barbie dreamland, aka leaving Eden. Okay. So Barbie comes into the real world, right? Actually, let me rewind. Hold on. So eating the red apple to me is very similar to eating the red pill. Okay. And when I saw the Barbie movie and I saw weird Barbie holding a Birkenstock and a Barbie shoe, that was very much red pill, blue pill. Do you want to awaken and see the truth of why you're feeling this or why you have these thoughts and why you're drawn and tempted into death and depravity and polarity, right? Or you can just still stay Barbie and blissfully unaware. Okay. So it's like knowledge of the tree of life, knowledge of the tree of good and evil. And they're like, I want the knowledge of tree of good and evil. Okay. So Barbie leaves dreamland and she sees the depravity. She is like catcalled. And she's just like, whoa, like what is this place? Like there's the patriarchy here. And she's just like, this is not like Barbie land. Like, why is it all men running this place? Okay, but then she also sees the beauty in outside of Eden, outside of dreamland, right? She sees a beautiful aging woman and she's like, you're beautiful. And she wants to grow old. Like she doesn't want to just be perfect young Barbie forever. She wants to change and grow old and lose people, and that's part of life, right? So there's also beauty where she found depravity, and this is again the polarity of life. Okay, all right, so let's also talk about how it's really deep in terms of the connection between dreamland and like reality, right? So in the movie, Barbie was having like existential thoughts because a woman, or like the mom in the movie, was drawing existential Barbie, right? So the creator creates us, and we also are creators here as well, and we as mystics, as artists, can also mold the unseen. Okay, so we are given that power because we come from creator. Okay, so when the mom made existential Barbie, the idea of Barbie started to question her life, started questioning death. And again, there is this interconnection between dimensions, right? So our higher self, or these higher dimensional realities, right? Like let's say, for example, if you resonate with star seeds, like Sirius, right? Okay, Sirius is supposed to be this high dimensional, utopian, like alien society, but now like war is breaking out, for example, right? War is breaking out, but that is just a reflection of the war happening on Earth, right? So it, like, as above, so below, but as below, so above as well. It goes both ways. Okay. All right. So at the end of the movie, Barbie chooses to be human. Barbie chooses to be human. So she went from being an idea in dreamland to being her own creator. Okay. And to be her own creator, again, that's the Kundalini mysteries. How did she even come to want to be her own creator? Was because she ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. She stopped wanting to be some ideal, some floating, etheric, one, like being of oneness that's one with creator. She's like, I want to separate from the creator and have my own myth and have my own story and be my own creator and create my own world. And again, this is what we can do because we understand the Kundalini mysteries and how to ascend our Kundalini. Okay, this is the tree of life and the secrets of the tree of life. Okay, to accept, we chose to be human. We're all here. We all made this choice, you guys. We accepted the choice of polarity and duality. We're like, I don't want to be one with the creator anymore. I want to be on earth. I want to learn what earth has to teach me. I want to learn from the tree of knowledge of good and evil and seeing if I can ascend back into Kether, into the crown. Right? And that's what enlightenment is. And that's what spiritual ascension is. So yeah, such a deep movie, okay? Greta Gerwig is like, I think she like studied philosophy. So she definitely is taking upon the creation myths. Like she's intentionally doing this. And again, like when you are able to lift the veil, you're like, this is literally what it is. I'm like, oh, okay. This is how I'm decoding it. Okay. So yeah, such a deep movie. I highly recommend, if you guys haven't seen it, to watch it because I'm obsessed. And I literally love how this secret is being unveiled to people. Like people love the Barbie movie. Okay. Men love the Barbie movie. Okay. And it's almost a sense of like Pandora's box, or like Eve eating the apple. Like it started with Barbie. Like she was the one that kind of caused all of this to happen. all of this chaos to happen, and Lilith too, right? But again, we kind of come back into unity and oneness when we ascend. Okay. So leaving your own Garden of Eden. So you can work with Lilith as a deity. You can look at her as just an archetype. But yeah, embodying your Lilith archetype. So what does that mean? It means, again, being your own creator, creating your own world, your own rules. Okay, she's really that rebel archetype that's like, actually, like, I don't have to listen to this false god. I'm going to listen to myself. I don't have to just fall, like, be in this Barbie dreamland. Like, I'm gonna live my life here and also implement the things that I remember from the other side and make it into my new world. That is your choice. Okay, this is instilling your own belief systems, reprogramming your mind. How, like, this is again an example, like, the world teaches us, the matrix teaches us, you need to work hard to get a lot of money. Okay, so the more you work, the more money you make. Okay, you can reprogram. I don't need to believe that. I don't need to work harder to make money. It's easy to make money. When I relax, money flows to me more. Okay, so when I actually reprogrammed my belief system, I would see it manifest because I'm a creator of my own reality. Seriously, like, that is possible. Okay, it takes time to kind of reprogram our mind because we've been living how many years on Earth, and we've been instilled with that. Okay, so it takes time to notice, like, oh, this is the story I'm telling myself. This is a thought pattern that's coming up. It takes awareness. It takes mindfulness. I'm like, and then I would question it. I'm like, let me question that. That's the Lilith in me. I'm like, ooh, like, where did that story even come from? Akashic Records came from your childhood, came from this, came from your bloodline. I'm like, oh, okay. Clear it, reprogram it, move forward. Right? That's a very simplified version. It takes a lot of shadow work, obviously, and purging and integration and embodiment, all the things that we talked about. Okay. Questioning the status quo, being a pioneer, and being the first, you guys. It's not easy being the first. It's not easy being a pioneer. It's not easy doing the, like, this is like what Lilith had to also embody. Okay, being the first in your bloodline, being the first to ever create something so unique, showing up on social media. Like, there's so many people that we see that are like famous, that are really well known, that show up so uniquely themselves. Okay, they're not doing stuff the way that we've seen other celebrities, YouTubers, TikTokers, influencers, teachers do. Okay, and that's what makes them successful, is because they're fully owning their creative energy. And they're not trying to be like anybody else. So embodying your Lilith archetype, this can kind of scare people because they don't want to just rebel and go against the status quo, and that means isolation. You're not meant to be isolated. We're actually meant to rebel with other people. You join a movement, you join a cause. Okay. Now we're really stepping into the energy of celebrating Lilith, celebrating the dark feminine. Okay. There is still a way to go in society, but I mean, look how popular the Barbie movie is. We love Lilith. We love Barbie, right? We've come a really long way in terms of, like, yeah, I love this sexual rebellious, tempting energy. And, like, women find it empowering. And women are questioning the patriarchy. Women are questioning what society has been telling us to do. Okay. And when we speak up and when we're the first to do things, we help others step into their own authentic lane. Okay. Another thing about stepping into your Lilith archetype is you leave the Garden of Eden, right? So this kind of like the Barbie movie. She leaves Barbie Dreamland. She comes back into Barbie Dreamland and she's like, you know what? Ken, you deserve your own like day or something like that. I forget. But having more balance with the masculine, implementing these ideas and not letting Barbie just be like a matriarchy and like real society be patriarchy, and just integrating again. It's this like shadow work integration of the unseen and the seen, and how it, you know, has this cause and effect within each other. And there's a constant rebalancing with the unseen realms and the seen realms. Okay. So it's to leave and then to come back into your community with fresh ideas and a new sense of self. So I think of like going on pilgrimage. I think of literally going, leaving your family, not like literally leaving your family, but you're like, I'm like, what I'm being shown is like a coming of age, like boy leaving his village or girl leaving her village. And she comes back to her village completely changed, learning from the different cultures from her journey, and fully embodying a bigger sense of self, because she lost herself in community and she lost herself in her family, and now with the time that she spent alone or the time that she spent away, again, she's able to integrate these new things and these new ideas and this new sense of self and these new beliefs. Okay, so that's also embodying your Lilith archetype. To ascend is this energy that tempts us, where we're so allured and drawn to learn more about the mysteries, to ascend in consciousness and learn the secrets, to go up the tree of life, to go up with our Kundalini energy. And this is why you guys are drawn into this work. Okay. This, like the snakes, or like, yeah, the snake was cursed to always eat, like bite the heels of Eve's descendants. Okay, so you guys have your own Garden of Eden myth. Okay, we all have some sort of myth, and this is something that we can play over. Like I've gone through my own Garden of Eden myth, and now I'm going through another one, right? There's just so much that we need to disconnect from and then come back and integrate or rebel against and question and create a new world. Okay. Okay, so the forbidden fruit, let's talk about it. The story of becoming human, as I said before, Garden of Eden is not on Earth. It's a higher dimensional reality. It's this dreamland, it's this unseen realm, this utopian society. Okay, we were abundant, we were thriving, there was no duality. Okay, so the Garden of Eden is Taurus. Okay. So let's talk. So I like to look at the zodiac signs in terms of how our consciousness evolves. Okay. So Aries is the identification of self. Okay. Taurus is the identification with your surroundings. So being one, like, oh, like I'm surrounded by nature and all of these beautiful things, and the earth. Okay. And then eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil is going into Gemini, duality, the twins. Okay. That is our spiritual twin. So we have a physical self, and then we have a higher self, a self that is in the ethers. Okay. This is also within Egyptian mythology, where they also believe in the spiritual twin, that is their Ka body and then their physical body. So yeah, that is the splitting up, right? So we identify with self. Aries is also like these lower impulses of, if you think of like animals, so they need to they just react to certain things. they need to itch, they need to go to the bathroom, they need to reproduce. Okay, and it's just like looking out for survival. It's the identification of self. Okay. So from survival into Taurus, thriving, just being relaxed. You just see a cow just munching on some grass, just one with the nature, the abundance, the thriving energy. Okay, it's just identifying with its surroundings. It doesn't know it's a cow, it's just like grass, water. Okay, it's aware of it's outside. And then Gemini, okay, this is the duality. This is where our mental energy, we're able to have higher forms of thinking. Again, this is the knowledge of good and evil. This is the duality, and this is where we split into our spiritual higher self and to our physical body. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So that is also what happened when Eve ate the fruit. Okay. All right. So the serpent represents the raising of our Kundalini energy, right? This is going up the tree of life from a lower based animal consciousness of survival. I was saying this before, to Taurus oneness, to using our higher mental functions that make us human Gemini. Okay. So the forbidden fruit, we associate it with the apple, which is the fruit of Venus. Okay. If you even cut up an apple, it will have like a really cute star-like pattern like this, with the seeds. And Venus is the star, or not the star, it is the planet of duality. Okay, there's the evening star, and then there's the morning star. Okay, so we come into this earth choosing duality. Okay, the Mayans knew this. They worshipped Venus because they knew there was a morning star and an evening star. They knew that they came into this earth to experience duality. All right, so this is the orbit of Venus. Okay, and this is again ascending from the 4 elements, Taurus, the earth element, to 5 elements, okay, into duality, in which there is the 4 elements and ether. Okay, so earth, our physical body, and our spiritual body, ether. Okay, so if abundance here exists, if beauty exists, ugly exists as well. If you are full, you will also starve. If you are thirsty, you will also be refreshed. Okay. All right. So, she who trusts herself. Lilith refused to listen to the false gods. She listened to her own voice. Okay, she's like, I'm not gonna listen to, don't tell me to eat from this tree. Like, why should I not eat from this tree? She really owned, like, you know what? I'm gonna listen to myself. I'm gonna break away. I'm gonna break from oneness. I'm gonna listen to myself and guide myself now. And again, she represents this aspect of us that is self-sovereignty. Okay, and this is why she again represents the rebel archetype. Okay, so when Lilith left the Garden of Eden, okay, that meant that she was shamed and shunned for doing what she pleased to do, because we're going against the status quo. Right, so there is this form of like rejection and like isolation that she definitely felt. Okay, and that's just part of choosing to do your own thing. Especially when I became an entrepreneur, it's very similar. Like, I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm going to go against the grain. But that doesn't mean I'm alone. That means I found people that are also witchpreneurs like me. Okay, so when we choose the path of the dark feminine, we go against what is expected of women. We question. Why should I have to do this? Why is society built like this? Okay, questioning, why do I have to serve this man? Why do I have to prioritize marriage? All of these different things. Okay, we break the rules to liberate ourselves, not only ourselves, but all women. Okay, so the more that we break the rules, the more that we allow women to free themselves from these false chains, from these false gods, from these false voices, because they see us standing in our own sovereign power. And they're like, I didn't know you could do that. I thought we just had to be like me, then submit. I'm like, no, we can be the Lilith archetype instead of the Eve archetype. Okay. All right. So the dark feminine, again, is anything that of your feminine aspect that is hidden and repressed. It has been hidden and repressed for far too long. And when I was like tuning into my Lilith energy, it's just like, I'm done like hiding. I'm done like you being ashamed of me. I'm done you being like you repressing me or oppressing me, suppressing me. Okay, so I shame myself for my sexuality, my confidence, my witchiness, okay, my bitchiness, all of those things I suppress. I'm like, I can't be like that as a woman. I'm like, wait, why not? Why did I suppress that? That's part of me. To love and integrate and embody that part of me is a rebellion in society. When we show up as our most sexy, empowered, confident, witchy self, we allow others to do the same, right? And the dark feminine especially has been repressed in our ancestral line, okay? There's a lot of wounded feminine energy, or women are afraid to speak up. Women are afraid to be in their bitchy, setting boundaries energy. Women in our bloodline had to hide their spiritual gifts and their witchcraft, right? We liberate our family line, okay, while also triggering the fuck out of them. Why is it triggering? Because we own up into our power, and some women or some feminines can get mad in terms of like, I've been following the rules, you have to follow the rules. I'm thinking of, who am I thinking of? Oh my God, Allison and Rhaenyra in House of Dragon. And Allison is like, why does she get to do whatever the hell she wants? I had to like do my duty, and she gets away with so many things. Okay, so it's triggering to see a woman rebel against what is proper in society. Rhaenyra wanted to be the first queen, like she was the heir. Okay, and Allison was like, no, like you can only be like the father of the king, or not the mother of the king. Like you can't actually be like queen on the throne. Right? So it is triggering because they have bought into this false voice, these false rules for so long, and to see us liberated from that triggers them. It's just natural. It's natural. Don't let it mean anything about you. So, how can we rebel against the patriarchy? Okay, it can look like radically loving your face and body. Okay, fuck beauty standards that are centered toward the male gaze. Fuck all of that. Breaking relationship patterns that making hang on, breaking relationship patterns that cater to men / your partner. Okay, so putting a man's needs first, putting your partner's needs first over yourself. Exploring your sexuality and trying some kinky stuff. Oh my God. Sorry, you guys. I don't even know what's going on with my nose. Yeah, so it's just like, okay, let me go into some hidden aspects of myself, hidden repressed aspects of myself, these temptations that you have been eyeing. Speaking up when decisions are made for you. You can make your own decisions. Okay. Your family, your partner, They don't have to speak for you. You're grown. You can speak for yourself. Okay. Coming out of the broom closet / spiritual closet. Okay. Just fully owning that you're a witch. Dressing how you want to dress and expressing yourself unapologetically. Okay. So no longer fitting into these boxes. And doing what feels good for us and not what society wants us to be. Okay, so let's talk about decentering men in our lives, the curse of Eve. Again, so let's kind of go back. When Eve ate the apple, God cursed her to have painful childbirth and to serve her husband. Okay, as little girls, we were conditioned to basically aspire to marriage, and then we're pressured, like, why don't you have a boyfriend yet? My aunties are like, why don't you have a boyfriend yet? My mom was like, I want grandchildren. While I do want children, right? I do want love. There's still things about modern day marriage that I'm like, I don't know. Marriage was like made to benefit a man. Okay. Like the contract of marriage, a lot of it has a lot of patriarchal standards in it. Not saying that I don't want to get married or sign that contract. Okay, I still want to question it. And it's also not at the top of my list to, like, it's not in terms of my goals of like what I want to achieve for myself right now. And if it is for you, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as that's something that's authentically from you and not because of society and not because of your family and not because this is what everyone else is doing. Everyone else is getting married. This is just where my life is going because you're just following the herd. Okay. So yeah, and we see this in media. We see these Disney love stories, and we see these female protagonists. We see very few female protagonists without a male love interest. And this is what I also loved about the Barbie movie, was that she didn't automatically end up with Ken. Okay, she didn't want to be with Ken. Maybe she eventually ends up with Ken later, but that wasn't something that was pushed onto her because that's something that we just expect. Oh yeah, let's make Barbie and Ken is gonna be a love story and da da da. No, like she needed to find herself first before going into union with somebody. And this is the story of Lilith. Okay, like I need to know who I am first. I need to be single. I need to like find what's out there. And then I will resonate and come into union with somebody. But until then, I'm gonna be my own person. Like she really came through when I was leaving, or when I was transitioning out of my last relationship. Because I didn't want to be somebody's girlfriend anymore. And people always saying like, oh, this is this person's girlfriend. I'm like, no, I'm just Ari. Like, there's no man attached to me. Like, you have to take me as I am. You have to get to know me as I am. Okay. So union between masculine and feminine, again, beautiful, nothing wrong with it. But you need to be a whole, complete goddess by yourself before getting into divine union with your divine masculine. Is to step into your goddess energy and out of your wounded feminine energy. Knowing that you are a whole, beautiful, amazing, multidimensional person with so many different archetypes and faces and facets. Okay. And that's where you attract your masculine energy from. That's where you attract your partner from. Not from the wounded feminine, not from the domesticated feminine, trying to be picked, trying to be wifed up. No, it is the untamed feminine that a man is like, oh my God, I want her. I'm so drawn to her. Like, she's just so alluring and tempting. Because think about it, the masculine energy is very competitive. it wants a prize, not a prize. I don't want to say it like we're a prize. It wants the hunt, right? So what do you think a man or a masculine energy is going to want? The domesticated cat or like the wild animal, the wild untamed animal? Okay. So this is why being in your dark feminine energy helps you step into your lover archetype. I feel like it comes first, not being like, I'm wife material, I'm ready, right? Again, we're going to decenter men from our lives. Okay, like I don't give a fuck about being wifey material. What the hell? I'll be wifey material when a man is masculine in his energy that lets me soften into that like wifey material energy. It's inside me. I got that lover girl energy. Okay. But they're gonna have to tie me down. I'm a wild animal out here. And it's gonna be a challenge to tie me down and to impress me and to help me soften into my feminine. Okay. And that's what makes it rewarding for the masculine energy. Okay. All right. So be ready to face and alchemize and heal from these conditioned romantic love stories, the dating traumas, and the familial relationship curses. Oh my goodness. Decentering men from my life. Like, even though I'm in my dark feminine energy, there's so much like stubborn ancestral wounding that I had to clear. And again, dating traumas. So I don't know why my nose keeps doing that. It's so weird. So yeah, also giving yourself grace. Even if you do your own personal inner work, you're freeing your bloodline, and that kind of takes time. Takes like a little more oomph to really free generational curses back. Like, it's a lot. Okay. All right. So let's talk about a few of the stories that have been conditioned into us in which we sent for men in our lives. Okay. So this is coddling men or a partner. Again, allowing men to get away with things, not letting a man be challenged and step up into like the strong, capable, intelligent man that he is, and leaving men like basically, I don't want to say this, but it's like, yeah, like leaving some men are like literally useless and they can't fend for themselves because they've always relied on their mom or their partner to do stuff for them, to cook for them, to take care of them, right? And they never had to grow up and be an actual man and take responsibility and all that stuff. Okay. Another thing, waiting for a twin flame. Oh my God, the twin flame rhetoric is so old. I'm so over it. It's so disturbing. Like, oh my goodness. Like the twin flame thing is now just completely distorted. It is so imbalanced. It is so, yeah, no. Again, it's kind of going back into the wounded feminine energy, waiting for the love of their life. Oh, you're in separation with your twin flame, waiting for them to save you, waiting for them to step up so that you can move forward with your spiritual up. You don't need to wait for anybody. You don't wait for anybody. Fucking move forward. And you will find somebody there on your level on the other side. Okay. Again, really questioning these new age, like the twin flame thing, like that's a very popular concept in spirituality. You can question it. You don't have to fucking follow every single new age spiritual belief. You don't. Question those things. Find your own truth about it. Okay, so limiting our own freedom for our partner. Oh, I should ask if this is okay. Oh, he wouldn't like me to wear that. I can't. Right? Suppressing our desires and sexuality because of a relationship. Right? So wanting to explore women if you're in a straight relationship, trying to explore like gay relationships, exploring your sexuality, wanting to just really reclaim your pleasure. Lilith really helped me do that because as women, we were taught to be an object of desire. Like we were taught to prioritize the male gaze, prioritize, again, being desirable instead of embodying pleasure and prioritizing our own satisfaction. We prioritize the satisfaction of a man, right? We want male attention instead of like fulfillment within ourselves and love within ourselves. Okay, not knowing who you are without a relationship, right? Some people are scared to leave their relationship. They don't know who they're going to be without that person. They stay because they don't want to be alone. And their whole life is surrounded around this relationship. And sometimes it's like women that I see that are constantly in relationships, jumping from relationship to relationship. Because they can't be alone. They can't find who that is. Staying in unhappy, stagnant, disrespectful, unreciprocated relationships. I'm like, you deserve better. I shouldn't have to say anything more about that. Feeling like you need to marry and be in a relationship. And it's like, oh my God, I'm this age, or oh my God, like clock is ticking. Oh my God, I've been with this person for 7 years, right? Like feeling like you need to marry that person, feeling like you need to get into a relationship. Get into a relationship when you want to get into a relationship, when that feels good for you, when spirit decides it as well. Like it's, again, something that you can't really control sometimes. But yeah, tune into what your true desires are for relationships. Again, if that is marriage, make sure that it is something that aligns and not something that you want right now. Everything. And again, there's complete, like, it's okay to take up space to have your own relationship with yourself and to fall in love with yourself. Okay. Doing everything, always thinking about your partner and what they think. That is, again, it's important, especially when you're in a relationship, to think about what your partner and the consequences of, like, is this going to hurt my partner? That's definitely healthy. But if it's unbalanced and you're constantly worrying about that, and that's like the forefront of your mind, and their opinion matters more than your opinion, then again, you got to rebalance that. And also look at the ways that this happens in your family. Okay. Judging yourself and other women for how they express themselves. This is the internalized male gaze, internalized male misogyny. And again, like how we can be triggered by women that are not following the rules of how women should act or how feminine energy should act. And judging them, like, oh, I can't believe she's wearing that. I can't believe she is with that person. I can't believe she is just single with all these cats. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up, you guys. Okay. Changing your personality to be more desirable. Right? Is that really authentically you? Are you really like wifey material to your core? Is that authentic to your vibration? Are you only always in your wifey energy and you're not going to let yourself be in your dark feminine energy? Okay. Trying to be that good girl, trying to be that desirable girl. Trying to be what you guys like what you think men like, or what you think a partner would like. Just be yourself. Being overly sexual, again, performing to the male gaze, wanting to be the good girl. Okay, kind of going back to being overly sexually, like needing attention, needing male validation, like having that be the source of your self-esteem. Wanting to be the good girl. I got 0 bodies. I can cook you a great meal. Pick me, please. Like, I'm so good. I go to church. I wait till marriage. Like, all of these things. Again, it's just performing to what a man thinks is ideal and not what you authentically think is ideal for how you want to be as a woman or a feminine energy. Serving instead of devotion. Okay, there's a difference. There is a difference. Okay, serving a man means that you feel like you're under them. Devotion is like you're equals and you like, you just want to do this for them. And it comes from the love of your heart. And it's like this spiritual like prayer and ritual to love this person and not doing it out of obligation. Okay, so the sin and the demonization of feminine energy. So Lilith is demonized. She is definitely a feminine energy that is feared, but honestly, we fear things that we misunderstand. Okay, again, the dark feminine energy, you guys already know this, I don't need to say it. Dark feminine energy is not evil, it's not bad. Okay, but people can associate it with our toxic side. Okay, as you guys know, there is toxic energy both on the light feminine and dark feminine side. Okay, to rebel against what is expected of women is to be demonized. Okay, even when Barbie left Dreamland and then they went to like the teenage girls school, they're like, you're just upholding unrealistic beauty standards and da 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 da. And they were all hating on Barbie. And it's the same thing. It's just like, why am I being demonized for wanting to practice witchcraft, for wanting to like have cats instead of not, like maybe not demonized, but yeah, just being ashamed of that. Okay, so the original sin of eating the apple was again is an allegory of humans choosing to wake up and see reality for what it is and lifting the veil. Okay, so like there's a saying that says ignorance is bliss. Okay, but to really see past the veil, it's going to show you some real stuff. It's going to show you some hard truths, some hard pills to swallow. Okay, so the feminine energy, and sometimes people can't take that truth and they demonize it. So the feminine energy is again often demonized, but this is actually empowering. Okay, so why do they fear us so much? Why do they fear the dark feminine energy so much? Is because it's so fucking powerful. That's why they demonize it. That's why they don't want us stepping into it. It's because of how powerful it is, because we are creators, because we know the mysteries of life itself. We know like alchemy and magic. Like, come on. It's some real powerful stuff. Okay, and that's why the Christians don't want us to do it. Okay. So again, fear of our own power is really the case. So you're just holding yourself back if you just fear your own power. Okay, that is your own self-imposed cage. But just again, the dark feminine energy just wants to be accepted and integrated. Okay, so liberation. This is our last slide. Oh my God. Making your own way. I channeled this and we're going to go through the different zodiacs. Goddess, you are a unique, special being, Aries. Your path is one not walked by many. You must leave your comfort zone, Taurus, and face tests of duality where you will have to choose your highest self out of many false voices, Gemini. So that you remember, Cancer, who you are. With this remembrance comes your divine sovereignty, Leo, and purification of your life and self, Virgo. After many dark nights of the soul and rebirths, Scorpio, comes an expansion of self-knowledge and self-mastery. You are here to create a legacy for yourself and your future generations and the collective, but you will be tempted by your ego and will have to pass many initiations. You devote your life to healing and serving the collective with your unique soul gifts, Aquarius, before you return to oneness with the creator, Pisces. Okay, so this is the evolution of our soul. Okay, this is the evolution of our consciousness. And this is how we ascend. This is how we go up. The ladder. Okay. All right, you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the masterclass. It is our last class of the semester. So my fall, like my summer semester girlies know that you guys will get access to the Akashic practices and the new Akashic, the new goddess workshops. So it's not the end. And I can't wait for that. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed Akashic Allures Academy. I had so much fun with the summer semester, and I'm just really looking forward to the fall with you ladies. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope that this hits home for you and resonates with you and helps you create your own life, helps you step into this beautiful transformation into your dark feminine energy. Okay, so I'm going to end it there. Love you guys, and bye, y'all.